see a ball. Fly ball.
I love it. I love it.
For the first time ever, the San Diego Padres are coming off back-to-back seasons with 90 or more wins. The Padres have also been to the postseason 4 out of the last 6 years. And even though this has been the most successful stretch in the history of the franchise, there is still a lot to be desired, and expectations inside and outside of the San Diego Padres organization have reached massive heights. Welcome to Spring Training Spotlight, and welcome to the 2026 San Diego Padres.
It's just huge to have a good family in here, a good tight group, and we're ready to roll.
Man, we're just ready. The boys are together.
It's a winning atmosphere, and we just got to ultimately get to the finish line.
It's a long season. It's a long road. It's not easy to get up to the top. So, just keep building off of it, keep getting better, and try to keep riding it.
A return to the desert for the San Diego Padres means a return to baseball. And like it does every single year, spring training means optimism for about 25 major league clubs or so. The San Diego Padres definitely being one of those clubs, mainly because of the core that they are returning. Think about the pieces coming back in the brown and gold. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Ramon Laureano, Jackson Merrill, Xander Bogaerts, the list goes on. And then you think about the pitching side. Yes, this is a team that lost Dylan Cease to the Toronto Blue Jays. This is a team that lost Yu Darvish to injury, but they're also getting arms back, healthy arms back. Michael King back to full strength. Joe Musgrove coming off Tommy John surgery. You couple that with the year Nick Pivetta had, in the year I think Randy Vasquez is about to have a breakout year. You got a good core coming back. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that this team's biggest strength is their bullpen. Now, I could play devil's advocate, of course. You got a rookie manager in Craig Stamen. You have a possible sale looming over this franchise. All those things make this one very interesting spring training to cover. If the San Diego Padres are going to have a successful year, the stars have to be stars. But of course, we already knew that. By now, you have almost certainly heard that the Seidler family has been exploring options to sell the San Diego Padres. And we are now hearing more about a possible sale of the franchise. Both reactions from the players here in Peoria, and most importantly, from the Seidler family themselves via control person John Seidler.
We would like to see what everybody would like to see. We would like to see somebody with ties to San Diego, a deep love of San Diego, and a deep love of baseball.
Peter's vision. I think we've all bought into it. I think it bought into the city. It's sad that it's kind of at his last strings, and but it was all sad. Everything with the situation.
We're going to make the most of what we have and do our best to win a championship regardless of who owns the team. So obviously I think you can benefit from an owner coming in and wanting to spend money and add more players, but ultimately that's out of our control, and the goal in here doesn't change, regardless of who's running the show.
On the surface, there appears to be 3 front-runners to purchase the Friars, one of which is Joe Lacob, who currently owns the Golden State Warriors and has owned the team since 2010, winning 4 titles in that time. Lacob has also helped bring the Warriors to the league's most valuable franchise and owns a WNBA team in the Bay Area as well. And even though the 70-year-old has such strong ties to the Bay Area, reports are that he would not relocate the Padres.
The Padres aren't moving from San Diego. A new buyer would be nuts to move the team out of San Diego. With the second highest attendance in all of baseball last year, we've been in the top 5 for the last 5 or 6 seasons. San Diego is a great place for baseball. Baseball is the only major sport in San Diego right now. So the opportunity is in San Diego, not elsewhere.
Without knowing the full scope of who could purchase the team, other possible candidates that have surfaced to buy the Friars are Dan Friedkin and Jose Feliciano.
We've had tremendous interest. There has been interest. Some parties have been reported in the press, others have not. There are more parties interested than has been reported.
As for Friedkin, he was born in San Diego and currently owns Everton Football Club, Italian soccer club AS Roma, and even tried to buy the Boston Celtics recently. According to Forbes in 2026, Friedkin was worth an estimated $10 billion. Feliciano's equity group is the majority owner of Chelsea Football Club. The 52-year-old was born in Puerto Rico and has an estimated net worth of just under $4 billion.
Over the next few months, the process will come to a logical conclusion.
You know, we're so close. We've come so close. We've come so far. And, you know, we're excited for the new ownership, too, to come in and hopefully continue Peter's legacy and continue that.
Initial bids for the San Diego Padres are expected to come in late this month. For most Major League Baseball teams, the starting rotation and the depth of that rotation is a hot topic this time of year. How will the ace of the staff spin it this season? Who's going to win the fifth job in the rotation? How will so-and-so look coming off that major injury? These are conversations that are constantly had throughout Florida and Arizona this time of year, and the San Diego Padres are no exception. The Padres appear to have their three horses at the top of the rotation between Nick Pivetta, Michael King, and Joe Musgrove. The fourth spot in the rotation appears to be Randy Vasquez's to lose, and then there will be a big battle for that fifth spot between guys like J.P. Sears, Matt Waldron, Marco Gonzalez, Kyle Hart, newcomer Griffin Canning, and others. For the Padres, though, it appears they have more depth at the starting pitching position than some are giving them credit for.
What we have right now is very strong, and the work that our guys put in and you know how focused we are, it's just not comparing ourselves to the rest of the league, it's just comparing ourselves to ourselves.
We got a lot of options, but I mean, you know, you never feel comfortable with the amount you have. You know, you see how quickly guys can get injured or guys can have struggles or rough patches, so you know, we're really trying to stress the importance of getting everybody ready mentally for whenever that time comes.
You're competing every spring training, so it's nothing new. I mean, I think this is my 10th spring training, 9th spring training now, and every year I come into it like I'm competing for something. So as far as that regard, my mentality of that is not going to change.
Did it feel a little weird walking in here and putting on brown and yellow?
Yeah, it feels a little weird. I imagine 5 years ago it would have been a lot more weird, but you know, this is a crazy game, and this is a great opportunity for me to again be a part of a really talented baseball club, and you know, that's what I'm here to do.
You know, at the end of the day, yeah, you got to compete with yourself and be the best version. And there's a lot of great arms in here and a lot of guys with experience. So I guess I can do my best to learn from them and try and make myself better.
I think we're in a great spot pitching-wise, like better than people are giving us credit for. But, you know, like I said, I'll be there. Whatever Craig and Ruben want me to do, I'm ready to do.
And one note about that spring training acquisition of right-hander Griffin Canning. He's coming off a torn Achilles. The Padres don't think he'll be ready to go until sometime in May. Well, a major signing takes place here in Peoria, Arizona, and it isn't a pitcher or a bat for the Padres lineup. I'll explain coming up after the break.
I don't know anyone that loves this organization and cares about this organization, cares about this franchise, cares about these players in this clubhouse more than that person.
It has been a busy start out here in Arizona for the San Diego Padres. They have signed German Marquez and pitcher Griffin Canning. They also brought in Philadelphia slugger Nick Castellanos. It's been a bit of a frenzy to start here in Peoria, but maybe the most anticipated signing of all took place. The extension of general manager and president of baseball operations, A.J. Preller. He has been in this role since 2014, and it is a multi-year extension. Having been in the clubhouse, I can tell you this is one of the more popular moves the Padres have ever made amongst the players.
He has definitely founded this organization, from bringing it from probably, you know, from one of the worst to one of the top organizations in the game. And, you know, I feel like everybody knows what he's capable of. And if somebody can bring a championship to San Diego, it's definitely A.J. Preller.
Even if we're close in the race, I mean, he's going for it, you know, and that's one of the things I got to know about him, that he's always ready to go for it, you know. And I mean, the World Series, that's kind of what our city's been waiting for. So who's better to have than him, you know, someone that's willing to go all out.
Yeah, I've never met anybody like him, especially in the GM world. He's going to put together the best team that he possibly can with whatever restrictions are put on him.
He started this on, you know, we all believe in him. We know what he's made up.
He almost raised me as a dad and member, but we has been in this journey together, and he has hold my back, and he has hold me accountable probably more than anybody, and just really happy that my journey is attached with him.
And A.J. Preller has maintained that throughout the conversations of the extension of this contract, his sole focus has been on the field and the product he is putting on the field. Now A.J. Preller can truly make that his sole focus. A.J. Preller remaining the Padres general manager and president of baseball operations for the foreseeable future, hoping to live out Peter Seidler's dream. It was an abrupt retirement that changed the entire scope of the San Diego Padres offseason. The departure of Mike Shildt led to the hiring of former Friar Craig Stamen. The rookie manager sat down with me out here at Padres spring training in Peoria to discuss his journey of becoming the next San Diego skipper. Joined now with brand new Padres manager Craig Stamen out here in Peoria, Arizona. Craig, how did we get here, man?
Good question. I think last year I was just showing up, you know, every other week as a special assistant, enjoying my time in spring training, enjoying the warm weather. But now it's real. I'm here every day, organizing all the practice plans and getting these guys ready for a great season.
You think about your path both in baseball and then with the Padres organization. Did you ever expect to be sitting in that managerial chair?
Probably not. You know, 2017 when I got here as a non-roster invite, I was just, you know, hoping to revive my career and have a chance to play in the big leagues for one more season. So it's funny how things work out and how they end up being where they are now, but very exciting for me.
When did it kind of click for you that this might be a possibility? Obviously, when Mike Shildt retired, the Padres started to go through the process. And then when in that process did you go, maybe I am that guy?
You know, it took a while, and I honestly didn't think about it seriously until AJ made me think about it seriously. But his belief in me, the organization's belief in me during that time period, you know, made me consider it. And would this be something that I would like to do, and would it be something that I think I would enjoy? And so going down this path with my wife and family and all that, we kind of ended up at this decision, and AJ chose me to take this lead role on, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
And you are such a family man, and at the same time, the Padres are looking for longevity in this position, considering past managers. How do you balance, you know, having a family, having young children, and trying to do this job for quite a while?
Yeah, that was a lot of the conversation leading up to it. It's a lot of the conversation on a daily basis between me and my wife, and trying to make this work for both our family and the Padres. But my family is the Padres, and so us marrying those two together has worked out really well.
You have a city that is so hungry for a winning baseball club, which they've gotten in years past, but now a championship. The expectations have reached heights that I've never seen in my decade of covering the team. How do you manage those expectations while still trying to provide the fans with what they're looking for?
Yeah, in the end, there's only one team that ever wins the World Series, you know, each year. We've never done it in San Diego. We've been great here the last few years, 4 out of the last 6 years in the playoffs, 3 out of the last 4. You know, it's tough to take it to that next level, but that's why we're here showing up in spring training, you know, to try to take it to the next level and give something for the Friar faithful that they've never had before.
I'm not sure you remember this moment. I was covering the Padres and Phillies in the NLCS, and after the Padres were eliminated, you walked to the top step of the dugout and you kind of just looked around Citizens Bank Field and soaked it all in. One, do you remember that moment? And two, what did it mean to you if you do?
You know what? I thought I was doing that by myself. I thought I waited long enough where nobody noticed. But yeah, I think at that time in my career, I thought that, you know, that maybe that's the last time I get to be in a big league stadium as a player. I wasn't on the roster. I had some injury issues that season. I pitched the last regular season game of the year. I kind of viewed that as maybe my last game in the big league. So, you know, just trying to soak it in. One last memory. You know, a thank you to what baseball's given me, but the story was unwritten.
I think I asked you this in your introductory press conference, that do you think the golf handicap was going to take a hit? And now that we're here in spring training, has the golf handicap taken a hit?
I don't even have a handicap anymore. There's no time to play, which is unfortunate, but it's probably a good signal for the Padres.
Wishing you the best of luck this year. Thank you so much for everything, Craig, and looking forward to seeing how it goes for you. Spring training almost always means new acquisitions for A.J. Preller. Coming up after the break, we will meet some of the new faces of the San Diego Padres.
Fresh start, new group. San Diego, I think, is a very talented team. There's a lot of veterans here. Also, the city of San Diego has never won a World Series. So however I can contribute to that and lift, this team up to accomplish that goal, I'm more than willing to do so.
Nick Castellanos is officially a San Diego Padre. He dons the brown and gold for the very first time a day after Valentine's Day. And when he walked into that clubhouse, he saw a familiar face from his childhood, just one locker over.
You guys have a history in the past. You guys have played together. What type of person is Nick, and what is that history you guys share together?
Man, me and Nick, we go way back. I mean, born and raised in Miami, played together since we're little kids. So, couldn't ask for a better teammate to come here and be a part of it. I think, for us, it all started in, Miami, Florida as kids. So, now we're here living every kid's dream. It's gonna be a fun year. Going back out there to the field and playing together.
I remember playing against Manny 9, 10 years old, and now being able to play with him in our 30s as grown men with families and, still pursuing a childhood dream of becoming a World Series champion. He hasn't won, I haven't won. I'm here to help him.
And Castellanos even talked about some of the deteriorating relationship between he and the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, I think when I said I will learn from this is, I guess, just letting my emotions get the best of me in a moment. Possibly if I see things that frustrate me or I don't believe are conducive to winning, to speaking up when I see it, instead of letting things just pile up over time.
Nick, seemingly everyone in baseball has had an opinion on your ending in Philadelphia. Is there anything? Yeah, I know. Is there anything you wish could have gone different?
That we would have won a World Series.
Over the course of 13 seasons, Nick Castellanos has hit 250 Major League home runs, hopefully adding some pop to a lineup that desperately needed it a season ago. So much conversation for quite a while now around Major League Baseball has been about the Los Angeles Dodgers in the way they are spending money at an unprecedented rate, unlike anything this game has ever seen before. Some folks say it's bad for the game. Some folks say it might ruin the game. Others are saying it could be the main cause for a possible lockout come 2027. Out here in Peoria, this is something Manny Machado was asked about, and he had this to say.
I love it. I love it. I mean, honestly, I think every team should be doing it. They figured out a way to do it, and it's great for the game, honestly. So I think every team has the ability to do it. I hope all 30 teams could learn from that.
We talked to Manny about the way the Dodgers were spending money. He had some interesting comments on that. What are your thoughts on the way the Dodgers are spending money?
It's the right way to do it. I mean, if you want to go win it all, that's just the right way to do it, and they're doing it right.
For you, physically and mentally, where do you feel that you're at going into the season?
I'm in a beautiful spot, and just looking forward to what's coming.
With many changes to this coaching staff for the San Diego Padres, one of the obvious questions is, what will this offense look like in 2026? What will manager Craig Stamen and new hitting coach Steven Souza Jr. do differently at the dish for the Friars?
New hitting coach, new manager, how much do you think that changes your guys' overall approach offensively at the plate?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed working with Souza so far. He's got really good stuff. Definitely talking about being aggressive, being on the offensive, being in attack mode. A lot of same things, a lot of same approaches, but definitely being a little bit more on the attack, a little bit more offensive.
What I'm going to try and bring is controlling the zone, hammering mistakes, being able to make the pitcher do something different out there. Because when these guys put the ball in the barrel, it's hit hard and it goes a long way typically.
I played against Souza a lot with Tampa, being in the same division with him. So hopefully, we learn a couple things from him.
I feel like when he showed up, we were already best friends. I mean, he's had that vibe with a lot of us, which is super appreciative for all of us that are hitters. But he's not afraid to speak his mind. He'll let us know what he sees, let us know what he wants, and obviously I'm very open-minded, so I want to hear what he has. Every time he's behind me and I'm hitting the cage, just like ask, hey, what do you got? What do you got? And if he's got something to tell me, if not, he won't. He's just pretty good at it.
Yes, we will obviously have the ability to slug, There's no doubt about that. Like, you look at the roster, there's power up and down the lineup. More so, I want to be able to play the game that we need to play.
In the end, it's not about a philosophy. In the end, it's about those players individually putting in the work to be the best that they can be, and that'll make our team the best that it can be.
And while we wait and see what this new offense may look like in this new campaign for the San Diego Padres, one thing that feels like an almost guarantee was the biggest strength for San Diego a season ago, that dominant bullpen.
Sky's the limit. You know, I think that we got some young guys coming in too that are going to make a huge impact. We saw that towards the end of the year last year, and you know, we obviously losing Bob, it was a key part of that bullpen. But I think we're set up and ready to fill those shoes and have the same level of success, if not more, that we had last year.
I think what makes our bullpen so special, our bullpen, is that from top to bottom, everybody out there can get it done in any situation.
With the bullpen that we have, it's solid. You know, I know we lost a big piece, which was Suarez last year, but you know, at the end of the day, there's different stories of everybody's career, you know.
I know you didn't want to lose Bob, but how much are you looking forward to getting back into an everyday closer role?
I'm excited. You know, you welcome the challenge, you welcome the opportunity, and closing for a team that, you know, has high aspirations is something I'm really looking forward to doing.
We've been through a lot together, like a bunch of those core players. I think it's what we set out to do, 10 years ago. And like talking to Peter Seidler all the time, like the vision that we had was about getting players that the fans of San Diego know, hey, there's going to be some ups and downs. It's not perfect, but every year that these group of 5, 6, 7 of your core players are going to be there. You can pay to watch them play, and I think our players feel that.
We hope you enjoyed Spring Training Spotlight and our deep dive into all the major storylines headed into this new Friar campaign. It is just about time for the 2026 San Diego Padres season. Enjoy the year, and for one last time, I'm Jake Garegnani from Peoria, Arizona.